Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Tuesday the 15th of June 2021 and we're looking at what is happening to the news, gold and silver prices and equity markets first thing this Tuesday morning. So let's take a look. It's a sunny, bright morning here in the United Kingdom, and the time is 9:54 GMT plus 1. Having a look at the latest news headlines, we can see here on Bloomberg, under politics, rampant variant derails UK's plan to lift virus measures. This is the new coronavirus strain which has caused the UK, or England, I have to say. The UK is made up of 4 countries, England being the major one, and each country has its own parliament or assembly, and therefore has different rules. And so applying to England, Boris Johnson has delayed the complete anti-lockdown. In other words, there was going to be a time where masks were no longer required in certain public places, such as shops and so forth, but he has delayed that a month due to this new COVID strain. We have EU set to lift travel curbs for US residents this week. That's obviously good news. Whether that's been the result of the G7 meeting, I'm not sure, but one would suggest that might have some bearing on it. And Pfizer Astra shots keep Delta patients out of hospitals. We also have, in terms of financials, world's bubbliest housing markets flash 2008 style warning. We've experienced that here in the UK. Certain parts of the country have house prices going through the roof, and we know that's certainly the case in certain parts of the United States. Billionaire hedge fund offers hefty pay to combat talent squeeze. Nice to see the city constantly increasing salaries. Said that slightly tongue-in-cheek. Politics, EU-US reach deal to end Boeing Airbus trade dispute. And we have on the left-hand side, Facebook cannot dodge EU-wide privacy orders, top court rules. There's definitely going to be a clampdown on social media platforms. And China calls US third after Biden rallies G7 against Beijing. Is that third or ill? Not sure. Let's have a quick look at what that is. China mocked the US's efforts to build a broader coalition to counter Beijing, calling Washington, it's ill, thank goodness, very ill indeed, as the world's biggest economy continues to spar over everything from human rights to technology exports. Looking at the BBC, we can see the news here under US and Canada. US lawmakers sorry for likening masks to Holocaust. And we have Canadian military leader resigns over golf game. 3 things to watch as Biden meets Putin, and US ban dog imports from more than 100 countries. It's pretty sad that these are the sort of things that unfortunately make the headlines, and US whistleblower jailed during Trump era has been released. The key thing here, for those of us who are a little bit more serious, is the 3 things to watch as Biden meets Putin when they meet on Wednesday in Geneva, Switzerland. A lovely place, Switzerland, if you've never been there. I've worked there for a few years in Zurich. Not in Geneva itself, but in Zurich. Incredibly wealthy environment. Very clean, very sterile, and very ordered is what I found it to be, at least. But that was 10 or more years ago. Joe Biden says he hopes to find areas where cooperation is in the interests of both the United States and Russia. Well, that's the news for this morning. Let's get on to what's happening in markets generally. Well, yesterday we can see that the Dow Jones fell by 85 points, but the S&P and Nasdaq both were up. Trading this morning in the UK, the FTSE is up 15, the Euro Stoxx index is up 18, the DAX, that's the German index, is up 94, and the CAC, the French index, is up 27. So broadly up, not hugely, 0.5% on average, and that follows a similar trade as far as the Nikkei is concerned, which is almost 1%, but the Hang Seng is actually down in Hong Kong, 0.71. Now, looking at the dollar, we can see that the dollar's, or the spot index of the dollar, is still above 90. It's at 90.45, marginally down this morning, but really too small to worry about. And therefore, let's have a look at what's happening to gold and silver prices. Well, this is the gold price this morning. We can see that it is trading at $1,864 on the week. It says $28, but it's taking literally a 7-day week. If we go from Friday's close, it's 1877 versus 1864. So we're down $13 since Friday's close. And looking at silver, I'm just trying to get used to this new format. So there'll be a little bit of wiggling around here. Silver is now trading at 27.68. That is reasonably down on Friday's close of 27.93. If my maths is correct, that's 25 cents. But we can see with silver, we had the same fall as with the gold, then a massive recovery, and then it's fallen back, and now it's recovering and falling back again. Looking at today's chart, literally we can see, if my internet is working fast enough, you can see this choppiness here. Now, generally gold, if I go back to that for just a moment, gold is actually trading at 1864. Support is seen at 1852. There is some resistance short term at 1872, but the key resistance level really is the 10-day moving average. This is for the technical wizards out there at 1889. Now, interestingly, both short-term and medium-term momentum have turned negative, and the MACD index has suggested a sell signal, but the histogram is pointing to consolidation. So, at least from the technical point of view, we should not be expecting much improvement in terms of gold, although we may talk about fundamental analysis in a second, or those issues that could affect the price. I don't believe it's just going to meander around that figure. Now, similarly, with regards to silver, if we go back to that, silver's trading at 27.66. The resistance, really, serious resistance. Obviously, there's going to be resistance at $28. Serious resistance is at 28.35 though, and very, very, very strong support at the 50-day moving average of 26.91. The fast stochastic and MACD also suggest consolidation for silver. Now, what's important today, and we mentioned this in our video yesterday, and we put a link to that one in the description box below, is the amount of news, economic news, being announced in the United States. Yesterday, there was nothing scheduled, and to be frank, that's part of the reason why markets were pretty lackluster. But today, we've got retail sales. Now, there was 0% in April. We've got the figures coming out for May. And we have the retail sales excluding automobiles. They were down 0.8% in April. We'll see what it's going to be today. We have the producer price index, the Empire State Manufacturing Index, which gives us a little bit, not huge, but a little bit of a guide as to the various manufacturing PMIs later on. We have industrial production, capacity utilization, business inventories, and the NAHB Home Builders Index. Now, in view of some of the comments that have been made by certain members of the Fed in the last few days, we are suspecting that these figures may actually be quite positive in the main, certainly on the retail sales figures, and potentially on the producer price index. Industrial production we're not so sure about. We would like to see that higher. We're not sure whether that will come out. But the key for the Fed and its decision on Wednesday, because we have the FOMC, and this is the key day for us. Today's the key day for data, but tomorrow's the key day for market response, although it will respond to this data, anticipating what's going to be said by the FOMC on interest rates, and some pundits are now saying that the Fed may be more hawkish than some people anticipated, certainly with regards to tapering its bond buying program. And a lot of that's going to be based upon these figures here today, because the Fed will already be aware of them. Okay, that's a roundup for this morning. Hope you found it useful. I haven't looked actually at Bitcoin. For those, we do have some Bitcoin fans, not many, I have to admit, but we do have some, and I can say that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies generally were up yesterday, and we can see that Bitcoin is trading at 39,273, and on the day, there you go. This is what I hate about Bullion by posts. You click the day and you've got a different figure to when you click the week. So it's now trading at 40,513. It's been as high as 40,967. It's not quite at its peak at the moment. Looking at this chart, it's 40,515. A lot of the pundits are saying if it hits 42,000, then 50,000 will be its next target, which will be almost resistance free. We shall see whether that's the case or not. Thank you so much for listening. Please, by all means, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, press the bell sign so you're notified of our videos as and when they're published. And we very much appreciate a thumbs up and a comment. Thank you for now. Disclaimer. Illuminati silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.